Afternoon everyone, welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Man United. We'll start off with Vinny from Sky.
Frank, we'll start with team news. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, is he available this week?
Yeah, he's in contention to see how match fit he is, but in terms of the injury, he's better.
How much of a boost does that give you, particularly as it is another forward option for you?
A really good boost.
But put it into context, I mean, just what he brings to the side when he's available.
Yeah, do I have to say that? He's a good player for us. Pivotal in us staying in the league last year. In that moment, we want to get him fit, we want to get him playing regularly.
Yerry Mina and Mason Holgate, how are they and how far away are
they? Training with us, which is great. Yerry came in the last couple of days training. Mason came in today, part of training. Both working hard to get there, so this weekend comes probably too early for both of them, definitely for Mason. But we hope for a good week's training next week they can be in contention from then on.
Last week was obviously your second away win in 13 months, or the club's second away win in 13 months. When you look at what you're trying to build here, how significant a step do you feel you've taken by getting that next away win?
Well, you know, 3 points, a good feeling in the moment, a bit of confidence to take forward, yeah, you know, but this is the Premier League, you know, but I can't dispute that it's a great feeling for us. I thought it was a game that we won, whilst not absolutely at our best. That's a positive off the back of international break and all those things. Some players are not feeling so well, so there was a nice sort of robust sort of nature to us that probably wasn't there at times last season. So I really see the positives in that, but it's just something we really have to take forward and make sure we try and replicate and become the team we want to be.
You are the only team to concede 2 or more goals in just one game so far this season. In the last 6 you've conceded 4. Obviously that run kind of coincides with the switch to 3 central midfielders rather than 3 centre-halves. Last time you played with 3 centre-halves was the game against Brentford. What's been the key to that switch of formation working, do you feel?
Just work on the pitch. I think if you look at our team, we brought in players in the summer, we brought in players at the start of this season. Sometimes it takes time on a training ground to work on things and to feel the benefits of stuff, and sometimes it's just a moment that you're in, you know. I think there were, throughout my managing career, sometimes you get judged and say, oh, you've got a really good record lately or a not so good record lately. There are lots of underlying factors to it. But what we do have for sure is a great spirit and an organisation, and we've worked very hard on the training pitch in trying to be solid, in trying to have a good base when we're without the ball, clearly, because that's so important, but also when we have the ball and we turn it over. So yeah, I think it's just a continuation of the work, and long may it have to continue, because this Premier League is unforgiving, and if we drop those standards, then those nice stats can all change.
Moving forward, when you're planning for the future, what confidence do you take from your recruitment in the summer? Because I imagine the impact that they've had just increases the trust between the team as a whole, that recruitment team as a whole, between yourself and the recruitment team, I should say.
Yeah, and I think it's good to be to understand it. I think there are probably times as I came in that a lot of people were very negative about some recruitment situations, and now it's really a positive that people are feeling good about it. But there's so many parts to that, and so many small parts that it's too simplistic to just say, oh, great recruitment out of nowhere. I think it's making sure that we brought the right people in, and I suppose that's a part of the good recruitment, but also the work on the training ground to improve. And last year we came in a very tense situation and had to fight our way out of a relegation fight. And now we've had maybe some time to work with more confidence, less tension, in a positive direction, and the players are bought into that. So there's lots of nice parts of it, but we're still very early. We still have got 2 wins on the board, and we still want a lot more. So I feel bad when I talk too much in answering your question. It's just some good work that we want to continue.
Might be early to ask about certain players' futures as well, but just wonder if you've already asked to sign Conor Cody permanently. If not, are you going to?
Well, it's not probably a question for now because it's so far away. A lot can happen. You know, Conor's been really, really good. To maybe understate it since he's been here. He's been amazing in terms of his own performance and in terms of his influence on the team, on and off the pitch. You know, so I think that's really visible. There's a long season to go. Conor knows how I feel about him. I think Conor knows how the club feels about him, and he's said a lot himself about the feeling. But I don't think it's time for that an answer to that question whether to corrupt it at the minute. I think it's just good that we're working together. He's settled in really quickly. I know what my feeling is, and we'll see.
Does the same go for Seamus as well? Because we all know how you feel about him as well. But looking at what he did last week, 23 defensive actions, 18 successful. The average for a right back in the league is 12. He was also above average in attacking actions as well probably says a lot about him and the way he returned.
Absolutely. Considering the injury that he carried for games in the battle to the end of the season that not many people knew about until he was really, really struggling with it at the end, and then an operation, and then a break, and then not many minutes, and then come in the Premier League is a massive ask for anybody, let alone where Seamus is at in his career. It's another one not to answer directly now, other than to say everybody here understands what Seamus is to this club. If his performance levels are there and he wants to stay, then there's no doubt when he knocks on my door and says that, I'll be like, well, let me help make this happen because of how I am with Seamus. I also know Seamus to be the best man. I've said this a lot now. One of the best people I've worked with in this game, and he'll always say the right thing and do the right thing. So if he feels like he's contributing well for this club, he'll want to stay here and help the cause. That's the sort of bloke he is. So again, it's an ongoing situation, but Seamus will know and has to know from us that kind of whatever capacity he wants to be at this club, he deserves whatever he wants.
Paul Merson said this week, I've been impressed with what Frank has done at the club so far. He's getting the absolute best out of the players at his disposal, which is what the fans want to see. Are you getting the best out of the players, or are you just scratching the surface at the moment?
I don't know about scratching the surface, but I think we're doing better. There's more to come, if that's the answer to that. It's nice that people outside of Everton are maybe sort of seeing that, clocking it, talking about it. A lot of respect for Merson and the people that speak about the game. And now maybe people are seeing that we are improving, going in the right direction. I think we've felt that from within the club for a few weeks now, and maybe now people are seeing it. But the important thing is that in this phase of where we're at, results always kind of get that reaction, and then we can continue working. The minute we don't get those results, Merce might be saying something else next week, and then it makes working harder. So I think we have to just kind of keep very humble to those kind of statements and just work away, and hope that the consequence of that is more results like we've been having in recent weeks.
I think we should remember that prior to the Manchester derby, United were in pretty decent form, and they got a win, of course, in midweek as well. You're just 2 points behind them in the Premier League. Last season, it felt like it was a significant moment when you got that win at Goodison Park, albeit there were a few ups and downs between then and the end of the season as well. But could this weekend be as significant, do you think, and for very different reasons, looking up rather than looking down?
In the short term, yes. Let's make no bones about it. Manchester United are a fantastic team. Got really, really good individual players. One of the strongest squads in the league for sure. So we're aware of that, but we also have a confidence in ourselves and understand what we can be like at Goodison particularly. So I think it could be a nice signal in the short term, and I'm not talking about signals to the outside. I think it's more ourselves. We had to dig in and fight against teams like Manchester United and Chelsea to beat them in that run-in to stay in the league. Can we approach these games with a bit of a different mentality and sort of feel about us, and what can we do in this game to compete with teams at this level? And I think we're in a different phase. So if it can give us confidence to, you can't predict the results, because performance is what you can do, all you can to get the best performance. And if we can get our performance right, we'll have a good chance in this game.
I can predict it will be that big Goodison atmosphere, though.
For sure, I know that, and it's a Sunday night. I'm not sure what we'll do to it, but evening games at Goodison with our fans in this type of game, we were absolutely sure of that. So can we play our part? The atmosphere will be played already by the fans. Thank you.
Frank, you said there's more to come from your side, and offensively you've scored 7 so far this season. With Dominic to come back and with Neil finding his feet, are you confident that's going to come?
Well, I hope so. Again, we have to continue working. I think the first 3 or 4 games of the season were not easy to analyse in terms of what numbers we were returning in goals, because we played without a striker a few times, and we were trying to find the right system to get through and introduce players into the squad and the team. But since we found out, I feel like our goal threat's been more. We haven't scored a load more goals, but our goal threat has been better from our point of view. So if we can keep improving that, then hopefully goals will come off the back of it.
And on that note, Alex Iwobi's got an assist in 3 in his last 4 Premier League games. That's actually as many as he had in the previous 87 for Everton. So is it the team that's changed? Is it him that's changed? What's led to that?
I don't think since I've been here, he hasn't changed. He's been a fantastic player for me in whatever position I played him in last year, and the summer gave pause for thought and how we construct the team as we move forward, and I wanted to make sure move Alex into a more central position regularly. Finish the season as a bit of a wing back at times. because I just felt it really suited his attributes. And then it's down to him. And of course the team having a good structure really helps any player, but it's down to him. And I'm just delighted that I think he's getting the recognition that he deserves as being one of the top midfield players in the Premier League at the moment. That's how I feel about him. Can he add more to his game? Yep, I tell him that. In and around the final third, he can do more because his talent says so. But in game, I think he can do more and assist more and maybe score himself a bit more. But I'm not complaining there. He's been fantastic for us.
And just on James Garner, who of course came from Manchester United, how ready is he, and what can we expect from him when he does get his...
James is ready. He's completely ready, and when he came, he was very honest that he wasn't fit for the Liverpool game and was match fit. So we had to work him. He went away with the 21s and played a game, and now he's completely ready. So he's ready to go, and the way he's training, I'm excited to see him play and get him in the team.
Frank, I'm just wondering how easy your analysis has been of Manchester United, because they've had some decent results, but they've also had some real anomalies this season.
Yeah, I think it's our job to analyse them, and I think I think you probably have to expect the best version of the team to come, and then also try and find weaknesses if you can in a team, and everybody has them. They're not so visible for certain teams, but no, I think we analyse them as well as we can. I think it's very important for us at the moment, while we're on a run that feels like an upward curve, is that we focus on ourselves and keep doing the good things that we do, because we should be able to give a lot of teams trouble if we do our things really well, and at the minute we're doing them pretty well. Can we do them better and better? For sure. So we'll analyse Manchester United, and the first feeling of Manchester United is always there is a big threat on the counter-attack. I think they've had that for many years, and then the individuals at the attacking end of the pitch. So we're well aware of that, but we'll also be hopefully confident in what we can do first.
Carl, let's go to Adam and Cotier, please.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
How do you feel about having the best defensive record in the league at the moment? Why do you think that's been the case?
Well, I'm very happy about it, because it's a base that can help you win games. It's a base that we never had last year. Since I came here, we didn't have it for whatever reasons, and they're ours to analyse, and we did, and hopefully we've corrected certain parts of that. I'm happy for the lads, because you work as a team collectively, and it's a really nice stat to hold on to, because there's some fantastic teams in this league that don't give away many chances, and we're at the top of that. And it's how long can we stay in and around that for? Realistically, we know that may change for sure, but we must take pride in it, but understand what it takes, and can we get even better? We can certainly get even better defensively, but some of our play and some of our setup for me has been really pleasing, but we can get better.
How vital is that partnership between Conor Cody and James Tarkowski, which really seems to have clicked straight away?
Yeah, it's hugely important for us. They're setting standards here which are important for us, to set good standards, so the competition that we have and players that might want to get in the team, frustrated not to get in the team, have got to see this standard that we're setting now about ourselves of being hard to beat. And it's not just Conor and Taki, that goes through the whole team, but the good competition we have means that you have to get to those levels, and to get to a level of having that least goals conceded record is a good thing for everybody, and now sustain it. And the players that want to get into the team, you've got to come in and sustain it if and when you get in the team.
You're back at Goodison at the weekend. How much have you appreciated the fan support and the relationship that you continue to build with them? Yeah,
it's great, because it's that one is not so much about me. It's a nice personal thing for me. I've had it since I got here, but the biggest thing is how it will affect the players. And now what I feel on the pitch at the end of Southampton, what I feel in all these welcomings at Goodison from last year and this year, and the feeling between the fans, is that the fans have got a team that they like. They like the look of, they like the feeling of the players. They see a real commitment and some quality in what we're trying to do, and the players are reciprocating that in terms of how they play to a degree. Again, we can get better, but certainly how they interact in the game, social media. I think there's a very positive feeling. It's important in the modern day, because fans pay their money, they love this club. They need to feel like the players are really understanding of that, and at the moment that's good. But so again, keep going with that. It's hugely important.
Thanks, Frank. Good luck Sunday.
Thank you.
Any further questions in the open section, Will?
Frank, I just wanted to ask you about Ruben Vinagre. We haven't seen him a lot really since he arrived. How's he looking in training? Is he pushing for a start at all?
Yeah, he's doing well. He trains well with us, and a good lad. I've spoken to him a couple of times, because it's difficult with my job sometimes. Consistency has been a good part of of our season in terms of being able to pick the same sort of players. People talk about relationships on the pitch, and Connor and Tarky, and now we've got Miko and Pats. Pats is obviously injured, but when players are playing well, you want to keep going with them, and the team looks good. So Ruben has to train at a good level and be ready. So that's literally my answer. And in terms of his attitude and training performance for that, I can't fault him at all to be ready when he comes in.
And just there's been a lot of speculation around a takeover at Everton. I assume for you, it's pretty much business as usual. You blank all that out and you just get on with your job.
Absolutely. It's something that I don't probably know enough about and probably can't affect. Well, certainly can't affect, other than doing my job well. Because I think that makes every conversation better, whether I'm part of them or not. And the question when you ask me is much more positive than it was at the back end of last season. So I think my job is to coach this team and to build relationships with the team, with the fans, and with the people above me. And I have to say, since I've been here, the relationship I have with the chairman, with the CEO, with the owner, have been great. And I think that's that alignment that we've found and we're searching for has helped us improve. And let's hope we can continue with that, because it won't always be rosy. Improvement doesn't happen in a straight line. It can take its hits. I'm not naive enough to think that because we're unbeaten in some games, everything's great. We must stay on ourselves, but in terms of the communication between the club, I'm very happy at the minute, and as you say, those things are not really for me to dwell on at all, really. Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much. We'll now move on to the embargo section with the newspapers.
Thank you. Cheers.